Hey guys, my name's Tom, and I've got coffee and I've got a little bit of a different camera setup today because this is not an audio tutorial. This is going to be me sharing a memory of my first film project in LA. And I have so many stories about my audio career. Um, I've been almost killed. I've been like all kinds of interesting, crazy stories that I've got. And I figured instead of babbling on a stream or a tutorial video where you really want to learn about techniques, I would make like a separate video that I'm going to call my LA stories. So I moved to LA in 2008, moved back away from LA in 2014, but that 6.5 year stretch was really formative. It got my career started. And like I said, I've got tons of memories from it. And I'm going to share my first film memory with you guys. So I graduated college in 2008, skipped commencement, moved directly to LA. I had one job lined up and I had $5,000 that I had saved up from working my butt off through college. Like, I don't come from a rich family, really had to support myself through college. And so I worked all kinds of different jobs. I was a DJ. I worked at the radio station, TV station. I worked as a surgery assistant at the animal hospital, small engine mechanic, ranch hand. Like there's other stuff I did too. But anyways, I was hustling through college, saved up money, moved to LA, skipped commencement, got my useless music degree, went down there and tried to find work. But I had one project that was kind of like my impetus to move down there. Like it was the thing that I could say like that. I'm going to work on this movie. So packed everything in U-Haul, moved down there, got a crappy back house apartment in Glendale. And this movie that I worked on, which is called The Truth, came out in 2010. It took them 2 years to edit and finish it. Was originally called The Truth is Always Complicated. It's got John Hurd and Brendan something or other from Black Hawk Down in it. So at the time, that was like, whoa, these are actors that I've seen. I cannot wait to work on this. And so a guy I had met in Oregon, AJ Gordon, was producing this. And we shot it in this mansion in like West Hollywood or it was West LA, somewhere on the west side. A lot of night shoots. It was a thriller. My first night, I kludged together a sound cart to do production sound. I had my friend Kyle doing boom op work. I had a metal sound cart I had bought off a guy from an alley. I had a 2-track Tascam HDP2 recorder. I had I think a Mackie mixer mixing all the wireless into the right channel, boom in the left. This was like old school 2-track mixing, with like the first Red camera that came out. And so it was pretty ghetto, but I got some good tracks and had it was amazing. Like I was so awestruck by this tiny indie film with like a 35-person crew. And to me, it was big time. I'm working on a big production here in Hollywood. There's like lights outside with gaffers and box trucks up and down the block and generators and crafty and catered lunch, and it being my first real movie that I worked on, it was just like, I was in awe. The first thing that happened that was really interesting, kind of shook me a little bit is, I was a total greenhorn novice. I wanted to get good, quiet tracks for post. And there's a lot of intense scenes. You can watch this movie on whatever it's on. Just look for The Truth, 2010. So there's some intimate scenes. There's some tense scenes. There's a lot of whispering. There's a lot of shouting. Performances are, what you'd expect from an indie film. But we were working in this mansion, so we'd often be filming a scene while like upstairs they were set dressing or rigging stuff. And it was a constant battle to keep people quiet. Like, hey, we're rolling. We had PAs PAs with walkies doing lockup. Like, it should have been quiet, but this one freaking grip, man, he like delighted in making sound while we were rolling. It seemed like to me. So being a greenhorn and like, well, I need to assert myself here. This is my department you're messing with. You're ruining the sound. We're having to retake stuff because of you. So I was a novice, and what did I do that you never do? I called him out in front of people. So I got up out of my chair because, sound mixers sit all day. And I don't remember if I said what the F or whatever, but I I was hot. I was hot-headed. I was mad. You know, man, what are you doing walking during the take? You're just walking. You're stomping around upstairs while these actors are trying to go through this scene. And the AD was like, uh-oh, you know, because he obviously knew the guy. And this guy just lit up at me. Like he bowed up. He got all in my chest, like yelling at me and stuff. He's like, you want to take this outside? And I was willing to stand my ground. So it got very close to a fist fight in front of the entire crew. And I was so like mad. I wasn't embarrassed at the time, but after I cooled down, I was like, you know, dang it. Like, why did I do that? And the first AD took me aside and he's like, hey man, I get it, you know, but you really can't call people out like that in front of the crew because it's just something you don't do. You take them aside or you come get me and we'll have a discussion in private about stuff. So I learned very early on, like there's a hierarchy, not just department heads and that kind of stuff, but like the older guys that have been in the industry longer, like you have to respect them. And if there is a problem, you really need to come to them like directly and not call them out in front of people. And that's something that I tried to do throughout my career. I messed up a couple times and felt really bad about it afterwards, but like you really want to have one-to-one conversations about problems like that. So that was really formative for me. It was 3 weeks, 3 week shoot, maybe a lot of nights. Catering was okay, you know, but at the end I was like, okay, check that off the list. I did my first Hollywood production, you know. Oh, now the jobs are going to come just flooding in. Like this one thing is going to spread into all these other, and it didn't. It was like, I did that one thing. I made okay money off it. It was a low rate, like $250 a day or something like that. I did have a boom op, so that was good. But after that, it was crickets. Like, it didn't work out like I thought it would, where now I'm going to have a flood of work coming in. No, quite the opposite. I really struggled for that first summer. And I've got other stories about kind of my first year in LA, which I'd love to share with you guys. And if you're interested in hearing more, just let me know in a comment, because I could probably fill like a little short book with this stuff. But it's just easier for me to kind of roll it off the top of the dome to you guys on camera. So yeah, let me know what your first story, memory, film, whatever, like what broke you into the industry. What was your first project? I'd love to hear about that in the comments, because I feel like it's good information, might help somebody out. So definitely share that. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Till then, take care.